Hi everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Get It and Give It. So this podcast is all about people who I find inspiring that are going out, getting what they want out of life and giving back in many, many different means. They could be giving back through charity work, they could be giving back through teaching people, or they could be giving back to just making the planet a better place. So on the show today we have Hannah Ryan, and I'm going to give you a quick introduction as to who Hannah is. So shortly after completing a Bachelor of Science in Event Management, Hannah suffered injuries to both of her wrists. She began a rehab program where she met many different professionals. Frustrated by the slow pace and setbacks of recovery, Hannah decided to study a Neuro-muscular Physical Therapy at NTC. Gaining a thorough understanding of how to treat herself, she began fixing her wrist problems and fell in love with rehab. Hannah studied classical Pilates, Barre Pilates and bone health Pilates through P.T.T.I and Rehab Performer Stott Pilates. I hope I'm pronouncing them right. Hannah is also qualified in Orthopedic sports massage and Swedish massage. That's a bit of a tongue twister. Let me try that again. Swedish massage. As well as being a skilled instructor, Hannah is a talented musician, which, to my surprise, I found out while interviewing her. So I hope you'll all be ready to hear Hannah and all the amazing advice she has to give. So let's just jump straight into the interview. So I'm just sitting here now with Hannah Ryan. Thank you so much for coming, Hannah.
Oh, thank you for having me.
And thanks for being part of the podcast. So, yeah. So I'm just going to jump right in. What was your first ever job?
My first ever job was cleaning boats.
Really?
So I live in a little village on a harbour.
Yeah.
So there's like lots of holiday cruisers and stuff like that. So that was my first job.
Wow. It's totally different to what you're doing now. And did you like it?
It was grand. It was like a bit of independence, as a teenager. So
yeah.
It was fun.
Something totally different, actually. It's really cool. And would you be into boats yourself? Would you ever go out on them?
No, actually, I only recently even learned how to swim.
Really?
So I'm getting into water stuff now, but for years, no.
No. Wow. Okay. And because that's very much different to Pilates, how did you get kind of involved with Pilates?
Well, I studied event management in college, and when I finished there, I'd injured both of my wrists in another job. And I was going to different physios and chiropractors and absolutely everyone, sports massage therapists, and it might be better for a day and then my injuries would come back and they were quite debilitating. So I got really frustrated and I was quite interested in physio anyway. It was one of my choices on my CEO anyway, CEO, sorry. And so I just decided to go and study. So I got to study part-time. It was the only way I could make it work, and then kind of fell into Pilates. Fell in love with Pilates. I found that was a lot more, like I could rehab a lot better.
Yeah.
Just fell in love with Pilates. Kind of.
Wow. Okay, well, yeah, that's really cool. And did you like event management?
I did for a time, but I did want to get away from it then. I worked for about 4 years in Croke Park and I loved that.
Wow, okay.
They were lovely to work with, but I think when you're into movement and you're interested in the body and health and fitness, you can't sit at a desk. It wasn't for me. And
I think I admire anyone who does event management, because I actually studied it as well, and I just thought it was so stressful because you're relying on so many different kind of people and organisations just to do one event essentially.
Yeah, and it's a lot of short contracts as well. It was very hard to settle into. So.
Well, that's an snap. And so, I don't know, obviously I follow you on Instagram and I love your stories, I love your positivity and everything, but every day you're so busy. So what would kind of an average day be like for you with classes and whatnot?
Yeah, so any Pilates instructor will kind of relate to that. You have to work really, really early, work lunchtime and work quite late. So I might be up at 5:30 or 6 in the morning to teach my morning classes. You kind of get a lot of people before work, they want to get their workouts in. Yeah. So I do that, and then I'll wait around for a few hours and then do my lunchtime classes. So essentially, I work all the times that people don't work.
Is when you're,
Yeah, but it's great because I can do these kind of things.
Yeah.
Like my friends that are also instructors, we have little projects going, so we might meet in between, and there's ways to fill up your days. It ends up being quite a long day, but it's structured differently, where I wouldn't say it's harder than someone's 9 to 5. It's just different.
It's just different. So, yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, because I suppose a lot of what you're doing is so physical as well, but I would say it's a little bit harder. But no, it's amazing. And I just think, because every time I look at your Instagram and especially your stories, it's like, oh, this class and, you know, we're doing this. And I was like, wow, okay.
Well, I think that kind of feeds into itself as well, where because it is so physical, you can't deny the happy hormones that are produced when you're moving so much. And, you know, if I'm feeling a bit sluggish or something, by the end of the class that I've taught, even though I'm only moving a fraction of the amount that I'm instructing others to move, you just feel better. So, yeah, it's...
Oh, that's amazing. No, because I would down the line love to do one of your classes. And so what has been maybe your biggest achievement so far?
I think maybe just getting a business off the ground. Like, you have little achievements every day, and yeah, I think being able to do something I love full time.
Yeah.
So when I was getting into Pilates, I was a nanny, so I was like part-time nanny, part-time building up my classes, and you're so scared to take that full leap because it very much depends on how many people like your classes, how many people keep coming. So I kind of held on to more and more part-time hours as a nanny. It was the one family I was working with and I loved them as well, but taking that final leap and having it work. And I know a lot of instructors that will have another job and they find it quite stressful to put the time into their clients because they have another job. So I feel really blessed for that. Yeah. And yeah, just that the classes are growing all the time and I get to,
yeah, exactly. Because I suppose, you know, you said you enjoy what you do, so that's the best thing you can get from a job, I think.
It's a bit of a pinch me. Like sometimes, like when people are giving out about their jobs, like
you just sit there happy. Exactly. And what has been one of your biggest challenges to overcome with that?
The not taking it personal when people don't come back to your classes.
Okay.
It's really hard. At the start, I really took it personal. It was as if they were judging my personality instead of my teaching style. And after a while, I had to realise my style it's from a rehab background. But yeah, it's just some people my style is for, some people it's not. And I had to kind of learn that maybe the hard way. Like I never let it affect me too much, but I take it personal if somebody took a class and didn't come back again. But
I think it can be hard not to, because like I know with say acting, but what I do sometimes, it's, you know, you can put so much effort into a client or into a class to try and get the job done, or like in my case auditions, and then when they're like, oh no, and I'm like, oh fuck. So you do a lot of Rehab Performer Pilates, and that's kind of your background.
Yeah, so I'm a Neuro-muscular Physical Therapist. So I studied the Stott Rehab Performer program in Life Balance in Blackrock under Joe McCarthy. So anyone who studies Stott knows him. And I work there as well, so if you want a Rehab Performer session, look up Life Balance in Blackrock.
Life Balance, okay.
But yeah, so the Rehab Performer, if anybody knows the Pilates apparatus, it's a reformer and kind of like half a Cadillac. So there's more of a pulley system going on, there's more springs, there's just more things that you can adjust someone's body with. So you'd use that on like a 1-to-1 basis or maybe a 1-to-2 basis. Some people in the full classes will choose to jump on the Rehab Performer if they've done sessions with us and they know what they're doing. But yeah, it's just great. Hip problems, sciatica, anything from ankles, hips, knees, shoulders, neck pain. It's just brilliant. So it's kind of like giving yourself a really intense, really specific physio workout. So everything is like to do with how your kinetic chains function properly, balancing the body, and it might be a little abstract where you're using maybe your shoulder to fix your hip, or it's fascinating. And even if it doesn't make sense in the first go, everybody undeniably feels amazing after their first go. So it's just great. So I love it, and I always bring parts of that knowledge to the classes, whether it's mat or reformer or Barre or whatever I'm teaching. So
you're able to, it's invaluable. So that would be great if someone did come to any of the classes and they're like, oh, I have a bit of a problem with my shoulder or whatever. You have an idea then to kind of not just the Rehab Performer Pilates, but all the classes you do.
Yeah, to all the classes you can adjust in a way. There's you don't actually need the big fancy machines to prop someone in the right way. And in fairness, most Pilates instructors will be able to adjust. But I love it. I'd actually prefer if someone came in and told me they had an injury, and then I'm like, I'll get to geek out.
Wow, okay, no, that's good. Because I remember when we were in contact, obviously because, as I said, I haven't done Pilates in like 9 years. When you said about Rehab Performer Pilates, I was like, what the hell is this? So I had to look it up, and I saw the machines, and I was like, oh wow, okay. So, but it's
not as scary.
It's not as scary as okay. And have you been to any kind of like retreats or kind of health and Pilates getaways or anything?
Yeah, so like the Wellfest stuff, or even the Veg Fest that I was at this weekend.
Yeah.
Like one day things, I did some teaching on like a holiday in Greece, so I just taught in the mornings there.
Was this the recent trip you're on?
Yeah.
Wow,
so that was
okay.
amazing. So it's just, there was a group of villas, and all the people, whoever wanted, would just come to the Pilates in the morning. But yeah, it was really, really nice. It's so nice to do it in the sunshine, because, you know, kind of your muscles should be nice and warm anyway, so people are a lot more flexible when they're warm.
Yeah.
They just all thought they were amazing right away, but it's kind of that external factor that
Exactly.
makes the difference.
And I suppose they're in a good mood because they're in Greece as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. And was that something you do kind of yearly or?
No, I'd actually love to get into it.
And if you could recommend kind of 3 basic moves maybe that people could do daily, or even one basic move that people could do daily for just overall to get those happy vibes, what would it be?
This is now like the rehab side of me would kick in, and you'd have to balance everything, and it's kind of like, it's a building up of technique and skills over time. But if there was one thing to hone in on, which is why we're focusing on it in our mindfulness classes first, like your breathing, learn how to use your rib cage, learn what your shoulders should be doing, learn what your collarbone should be doing. Your breathing involves your pelvic floor, your abdominals. There's loads of accessory muscles, and it might sound really basic to learn your breathing, but if you know how to breathe properly, you're going to work your abs really well. You're going to make your workout way more efficient. You could do 10 repetitions and tone your abs in the space that somebody else does 100 crunches and they're not seeing results.
Wow.
If you can breathe properly,
it'll make a lot of difference.
Really valuable. But yeah, I think like in terms of someone having a tiny little plan, all the different positions, something on your back, something on your stomach, something on your side, just get balance.
Yeah.
So just to balance it out. You can't crunch forever and then be surprised that your hip flexors are short.
Okay.
And you can't do back bends forever and be surprised that your abs aren't strong. Do you know, it's just...
it is all about balance. Balance and breathing. So you're vegan, are you?
Yeah.
So what's your daily diet like?
So I'm obsessed with pancakes. So I
nice.
Up mostly to like spelt or buckwheat. I try to switch the flour just for different nutrients. Rye flour. I really like the rye flour one. So it's so basic. It's literally like a nut milk and that flour. Mix it up. You can put vanilla essence in or whatever. But I stay away from. There's loads of complicated vegan like pancake recipes. But I usually start with that. I'll have a smoothie, maybe like a wheatgrass and strawberry or something like that. And then for lunch, I'm in town in between my classes, so I love cornucopia or koku.
Where?
Tang.
Koku, where's that?
It's like, there's one on Chatham Road, is that what it's called? And there's one Bagot Street.
And what sort of food do they do?
It's like avocado and sourdough, or it's like that kind of vibe with like energy balls and things like that. But they're great. It's affordable, because that stuff can be expensive sometimes. Yeah,
especially if you're every day in town, like I can imagine.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But like we're actually so lucky in Dublin. Like cornucopia, you can get a soup and a big slice of bread for like $5, and it's organic and vegan, and so
it's all the good stuff.
Lucky, yeah. And Fumbly Cafe is amazing as well.
There's so many places. I just said I love food, but there's so many places I'm like, yes, I need to go here.
Fumbly,
really?
Oh, it's just to make you like pickled things. I'm obsessed.
Yeah. It's one to check out. That's good. And so how do you stay motivated, like day in, day out? Again, I know it's the positivity, but is there any other secrets or?
I think they all filter into each other. When you're eating right, you're kind of on a buzz of like, I feel light and full and healthy, and then I want to move now because I feel like I can move and I'm not sluggish. And then when you move loads, you just want to replenish with healthy food. And I think a balance of your social side is really, really important, and surrounding yourself with people that are into the same stuff as you.
Yeah.
Because obviously I had studied event management, so I collected people from that world, and I'm in a band, so I've collected people who are musicians. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So yeah, there's just a variety of different people, and traveling with the band, it's hard to eat healthy. So I love them when I get to come back, and me and Dervla are both excited to go and try a vegan thing together.
Yeah.
Or we just crave a salad and we get it, where other people are like, do you want a diet? Or surround yourself with people who are into the healthy things as well, if that's what you're into. Yeah, the social aspect, the food. Sleep is my downfall, but meditation and sleep and exercise. It's just ticking all the boxes.
Exactly. Wow. And sorry, I have to ask you about your band now. It's not on the question list.
We're called Pine the Pilcrow. I might as well plug us. It's a really weird name. So Pilcrow is Pilcrow.
I'm gonna have to look at this.
It's on my Instagram on the bio. But yeah, nobody ever knows what it is. So, but yeah, we're 4-piece. So I'm the violin, there's a cello, piano, drums, and we all sing harmonies. We recently got a really cool, exciting booking, which I was just about to blurt out, but I'm not allowed to yet. So yeah, lovely stuff. Love it. Yeah, you can find us on Spotify and YouTube and all the regular places.
Yeah. Oh my god, I can't wait to check it out. And what inspired you originally? Totally off subject now, but what inspired you originally to go to a plant-based diet?
Well, I've been on a plant-based diet since I was 12.
Wow.
So I was really sick as a child, and then about 6 or 7 years ago I got meningitis and I was in hospital. So that's crazy serious. And when I got better, part of the rehab program was to see a dietitian. So I was like a vegetarian, leaning towards veganism, but not fully doing it right. Like I was still quite unhealthy, and just having that scare in hospital.
And so is that since 12 you've been vegetarian?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like in between vegetarian and vegan. I've always hated dairy, but I just mean that I'd go on and off eating eggs in between that time. And then recovering out of hospital, I just had to get my act together. So that's really when I got into health and fitness. I measure my calcium, I measure my protein, I measure my water. Like I do everything really properly now, and I love it. So
that's amazing.
I think, a bit of the social side of that. A lot of my friends are into it, and the kind of food culture in Dublin around the vegan, like all of the cafes tend to be quite cool and have some kind of like comfortable couches and some kind of cool thing where they'll have music as well, or they'll have these different events in them. So yeah, that probably keeps you in it, and the health aspect. Health scares. I like to think I would be anyway in terms of caring about animals and stuff, but yeah, it's probably a mixture of a lot of things.
So yeah, and that's amazing. And so you had met, that's really serious, God.
Yeah, no, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so yeah, it's crazy. The whole thing, isolation. It kind of, your immune system gets targeted, I guess. So like my liver was infected, kidneys, urinary tract, like everything starts to shut down.
Over time period was that?
It takes about a year to recover.
Really?
Yeah.
God. No, because my brother got it when he was 2. And like that, it's so... Yeah, it's but like that as well, because I think they're growing anyway, that like they seem to recover a lot quicker.
Yeah.
Whereas I heard in adults, it's a lot more difficult to kind of get back.
It depends on how much everything gets infected. Like now, I don't drink, I've never drank, but my kidneys look like an alcoholic's. I've got scars
really?
on them. You know, that kind of stuff. So it depends. But like that, I feel stronger for it.
Yeah. Well, definitely to overcome. Yeah. It's amazing.
So it's great. Yeah. I don't mind this being in, by the way. Like,
oh, you do? Okay. Well, then we're good. No, because I just think it's... I just think something like that is so difficult. So it's amazing that you've overcome it and like come out all the more stronger for it. So
yeah, but I think those things are really important to recognize. Like even starting your own business, you have to learn to love the struggle and be grateful for where it's taken you from to, and notice the distance in between. And
definitely,
nobody can take that away from you, even though it's not tangible. It's like this super solid foundation that like there's a reason. Yeah, so it's, you have to do something with it.
I think, and because I suppose as well, like you would probably notice, will keep track of your health now, especially because you're in the business of it, but it's probably helpful to be in the business of it and, really understand your body the way you do.
I think I'm so lucky, even in terms of rehabbing my wrists, because I had tendonitis in both wrists. Like somebody else in my position who had the injury that I had, they would probably still have sore wrists on and off, where I know what to do when that happens. So yeah, it's kind of like, as in I'm grateful for my injuries and for the sickness, because it led me to where I am, but also I kind of need to be doing that kind of stuff. Yeah. So I'm lucky that I do that every day, but
yeah, that actually kind of falls into this next question. So my next question was, how do you find a plant-based diet works alongside your training?
So yeah, absolutely invaluable. And a lot of people ask about where do you get your calcium from, where do you get your protein from. I like, in terms of, if somebody gave me research telling me that my plant-based calcium or my plant-based protein was bad for me, because I'd be like, that's really interesting, I want to know about that, because I've had such a health scare and I want to get really far away from that. But everything in my own experience and my own research says otherwise, and I'm just doing that and I feel good. So when I eat dairy, when I eat meat, I don't feel good, I'm sluggish, I don't want to exercise. I had all blood tests done quite regularly because I was so sick, and I could see my iron count, my calcium count, and nothing made it as healthy as the plant version.
Wow.
Nettle tea, the healthy leafy greens. So it's just like, I hate to be preachy.
Do be preachy.
Like, I hate dairy so much more than I'd ever, like, I'd eat meat before I ate dairy, but just in terms of, like, a cow, it only feeds its calf, it needs to be fed, and then a cow also needs calcium, but they don't drink milk, they eat green grass.
Yeah, and like, that's if it's one of the lucky cows that's out in a field.
Exactly.
That's kind of, when people are like, oh, where do you get your protein from? I'm like, well, I can either get into it with them or I cannot.
It's funny as well, because the people that usually challenge you, and it's kind of in some ways almost a cry for help. So it's like, I'll just laugh it off and be lighthearted with you, or just tell you you're right, because at the end of the day, they're kind of asking a question in a roundabout way.
Yeah.
So it's usually the unhealthy people who pick at you.
Exactly.
Like, well, where do you get your protein from? And I'm like, if I asked you, you wouldn't know. You don't know how much protein.
I just say I have none. I don't have any.
Yeah. But not in a bad way. But like, if people feel good, like, I have a friend who insists she feels great when she drinks Coke. So I was like, then do it. Like,
yeah, exactly. And so, off the subject of health, what would be some of the stuff you have in your handbag?
Oh yeah, okay. So I'm not one of those girls at all. My handbag, I always have some kind of vegan chocolate, and I have a book because I spend a lot of time in cafes in between classes.
Yeah.
So it's usually something to do with the body or the mind.
Okay.
Books that I read, and then like my purse. So basic. Yeah. Sometimes a speaker. If I'm going on site to teach corporate, I'll bring a speaker.
And is that something? Because I noticed that recently. Is that something you're starting to do a lot more of now, or is that something you've always done?
It's a place which is actually good advice for people who want to get into Pilates. It's a good place to start doing corporates because you've no overheads. You don't have to rent a studio.
Okay.
You go in. Usually they have all their own mats. Very rarely I'm asked to bring mats. So yeah, it's great because you go in there just yourself, your bag, as I said, maybe a speaker and your own mat.
Yeah.
But they have everything else. So it's I've been doing kind of going into businesses before I was even renting my own place.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's great. Like, I'm in Paddy Power, I'm in William Fry, I'm in RTE, I'm in Davy, like loads of them. Yeah, it's great everywhere.
You get busy. So I guess like sometimes, I'm sure it's not the case, but no 2 days could be the same. You could be like in one end of the city to the other the next day.
Yeah. So this is like the struggle of all the instructors, like everyone, yoga, Pilates or whatever. But so at the start you kind of accept all the work you can. So like there were days when I used to be cycling from Clonskeagh to the Grand Canal to Blackrock back to like Terranure or like craziness. But then like that, when you build up your clients and you start to have fuller classes where you're like, okay, I can afford to maybe get rid of this class that's making my day really hectic and then try and build up another one in the same studio as this class. And so I've tried to make it that I have a full day in Blackrock or a full day on South William Street or a full day on Camden Street. So they're the places that I go between, and that makes it a lot nicer. But yeah, I'll randomly do other things in between. But that's amazing. Cut down the cycling.
Good.
It also makes you a better instructor for your clients because you're not so frazzled.
Yeah. So no, that's actually, because even, you cycled here today, I was like, God, she's amazing. But that must also really, like, you must be so fit. Like, I tried to cycle not too far from here and I couldn't, and it was really embarrassing. But I'd say that, like, even where Sky's school is, there's a hill, and today we saw this old man cycling up the hill, and I was like, God, Sky, we tried to do that one day and we couldn't. So look at this. But I just think it's amazing because, to go from one physical class to then cycling to another physical class is amazing. So
it's such a good warm-up. That's where just the food is really important, and that's where, like, I don't know how I could do that on any other diet, because you need to be light and free, but you need to eat all the time. So it's perfect.
It works out good. What are some of your favourite beauty products?
Yeah, again, I'm not one of those girls at all.
Yeah, that's okay.
So I use just like organic aloe vera on my face that I get in like a health food shop. I really like Lush products. Yeah. So obviously they're cruelty free and they smell amazing. So I love all their I love the massage bars. I love their solid shampoos. I love their
solid shampoos are amazing.
Yeah, they're the best ones. I love them, the seaweed one. Because they actually froth, and they're just so nice. Yeah, because I thought when I only got one a few weeks ago, and I thought it would really dry my hair out, and I was like, I'm gonna try it and just see how it gets on. But then it was amazing, and then my hair smelled so good afterwards for so many days. Because a lot of them, the smell, it doesn't stay, which is fine. It's lovely natural products. they're not going to be full of perfume, but the Lush ones are just, they're just magic. Whatever they're up to, unless they're buying.
And what about, so the aloe vera, is it a gel that you use?
Yeah, just aloe vera gel on my face, or like tea tree. I might put a bit of tea tree oil in it sometimes. Spots or whatever. I try to keep it really, really natural. Like I probably have about 5 pieces of makeup and I have no idea how to use them. Anytime anyone sees me in makeup, Derva has done my face. Like I don't. Yeah. I don't know.
No, that's good. I'm like trying to minimize how many beauty products. I don't have a lot, but I just have like, I'll start using one and then I'll leave one to the side and I'm just like, no, stop doing this now. The battery's going to do. And so what would be some of your essential workout clothes?
Yeah, so workout clothes are so super expensive, but I love like Lululemon. It's just so expensive, but I love their quality. And
they're in Brown Thomas, is it? Yeah. So I can imagine.
But like even stuff that's not in Brown Thomas, workout clothes are just so expensive. There's a great online site called Yoga Rebel. So they always have sales, and they have a lovely outlet section where you can get aloe yoga and sweaty belly and all those things for cheaper because maybe there's a string wrong or something like that. So they're great. But I have my first pair of aloe yoga pants because anyone who's bought them, they're about €130. But
really?
I really wanted a white pair. And they're all see-through everywhere. So everyone was like, aloe's the only one's not see-through. Order them and they are amazing in fairness. But yeah, so I don't know.
But you're right, they can be so expensive sometimes. I actually recently just got a new pair of jeans, and it was the first time in like 2 years that I bought a pair of jeans, and they were €100. I was like, okay, fine.
Yeah, but if you have ones you like,
and they last, because my one pair of jeans that I have that I use all the time are like the back, actually it's this pair, the back of them, the pockets come a little bit loose, so I need to stitch it, but I've had them for like 8 years nearly, so the €100 will be an investment. And so how do you unwind?
So I love sitting in a cafe with dark chocolate and a tea and a book. That's like my favourite thing in the world. Or meeting up with a friend in a cafe is great, and I like to meditate. So I just put on like a YouTube meditation. So I'm really like, I have to do a million things at once. I find it hard to sit still. I think it's because of, as you said, I cycle so much, I teach so much. You're in the habit and the headspace of having to like just give out so much energy. So I do find it hard to relax. But yeah, just me time, cafe, cup of tea. I love taking other people's classes as well. It's really valuable to properly take it, because I think at the start when I was taking other people's classes I was like, oh, I'll instruct that way, or that's a good cue, and I'll like mentally like just build up this store of other people's cues.
So just completely zoning out in
just
classes,
actually taking people's classes and then trying loads of different types of movement. So one of my friends teaches like a belly dance tribal fusion class,
cool,
something completely the opposite of anything I ever did, and I started taking that and absolutely fell in love with it. And because like I have no idea how to do it better or to criticize it, or like that's the real negative side of thinking.
Yeah, you're always thinking about
so it's just great that I'm like, this is so freeing. And like I tried silks, so like aerial silks.
Oh really? Oh wow.
So that, things that are completely different. I think that's really good. And like I think the me time or zoning out, as you said, or winding down, it doesn't necessarily have to be, tranquil. It could just be...
It can be anything.
Yeah. So a different headspace.
Exactly. No, you can
music as well.
And you mentioned that you do meditation. So is there any like apps or YouTube videos that you'd go to for them?
I should have had this ready. I just look up random.
You just look up random stuff. There's none, not one, because you can send it to me later if there's like...
No, I don't think
No, okay, that's okay. And so what are like 5 things that as your own boss you kind of find yourself doing every day, or even 3 things?
Okay, so emails all the time. Trying to think of how to make everything better all the time. So like that, how to get another 2 people into your class, or how to improve the class, or how to get your class to the next level. Reaching out and collaborating. I like working with other people, so trying to think of projects, and like, because I'm in the band and the movement, getting the live music into the class. We have a few workshops coming up where we've got external musicians, and if anyone knows the scene in Dublin at the moment, it's such a high standard and there's amazing musicians. And some of the people we have lined up, most people would know the names as well, so it's exciting to
That's really cool.
I
think it's also because it's really like different to what I've ever heard of before, so I think it's kind of like, I don't want to sound stupid, but I think it's kind of really like what I would imagine like New York to be like kind of like, you know, here's my Pilates class, but also in this class you can have
super trendy.
this, it's super trendy. That's exactly it. And what advice would you give to anyone kind of starting out on the road to kind of entrepreneurship?
Throw yourself in. So nothing was as painful as me dipping my toe in and out. As I said, when I was a nanny and half in and out, I love being a nanny, I love teaching, but you have to dive in, because there's stuff you can't learn from books, and it can take you 3 years or it can take you a few months, and it's up to you, so you just have to jump in.
Just really go for it.
Yeah, working by yourself is tough, and the hours that you work can be really, really lonely. So just throwing yourself out there, inviting other instructors to your classes, offering them for free, and be like, let's grab a tea after and chat. I made a lot of there's some of my good friends now, and they instruct, and now we can call on each other in between classes. We're like, let's go at lunch together, and that makes a big difference. It makes you feel like you're in a community and in a team.
Definitely.
Because it can be kind of isolating if you let it be. So just to make the most of those.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's really good advice as well, because I think if you are working for yourself, if you are trying to build something up for yourself, there are no like 9 to 5 hours. It's, you know, you will put your heart and soul into doing it.
Yeah.
And it's trying to find the balance then.
If you're going down the entrepreneur route, it has to be something you love, because that's when it's going to thrive, and that's when you deserve that. Everyone deserves that.
Yeah, especially for all the hours that you would be putting in by yourself or with whoever. Like, it has to be something that you're passionate about. And who inspires you?
Loads and loads of people. So obviously all my instructor friends, some of the external people that I haven't met, and Kelly Starrett was one of the people that I fell in love with physio through. So he's big in the CrossFit movement. He's like a famous physio. He has like a mobility WOD YouTube series, so he puts up a different kind of mobility every day, whether it's hip or ankle or absolutely anything, and he's just amazing. So his book, and a lot of fitness instructors will know it, Becoming a Supple Leopard, just amazing. So that's where I started.
What is it called?
Becoming a Supple Leopard, or how to become a supple leopard.
I'll just put this in the show notes.
Yeah, I can send it in.
Yeah, definitely.
And I listen to a lot of Tony Robbins, and I have a few of his books.
Amazing.
He's amazing. Yeah, and people who, you just have to dive in with him. He's great. And then one of my favourite books ever is one that he recommended called As a Man Thinketh.
Okay.
You know, all these books where you've got little things that you have to, you can create little templates, and those kind of things are really helpful. Who else inspires me? Yeah, I guess anyone that works for themselves. I think watching people, whether it's in the music business or this fitness business, it's kind of like, it doesn't matter what the content is, it's still the same experiences that they go through. So say friends of mine who are musicians who are doing really, really well, in lots of ways their day is so similar to mine, where they wake up, they have to physically be somewhere, they have to check in and out their emails, they have to offer things for free, they have to do loads of free work, and then they have to try and I'm not explaining this very well at all.
No, I get you. It is. It's kind of...
Yeah, it's a bit of everything.
Yeah.
It's oh god.
And what would be some of your kind of favourite forms of social media to spread your message?
Yeah, I think people probably know, whoever follows me. I'd love Instagram. I'm not really mad about the other ones.
Yeah.
I just think that's kind of... It's it comes and goes. It's there if you want. It's not too forceful. It's kind of, trendy. I like it. It's good. I think we're so lucky with social medias as well. Because I used to spend a fortune on marketing and taking out ads and sponsoring.
And you would know all about kind of the different, how for exactly, and having to do that for event management and.
Yeah, exactly. So we're just so lucky. You can sponsor stuff obviously on Facebook and Instagram, but for the most part, it's just this big community of friends.
That's it. Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say that. I think with say Instagram, especially for health and wellness, there's a huge community on that, and I think that's kind of a really good place for you to be, which you already are there. So that's good. And what are some of your favourite apps to use bar social media?
I have a water app that tells me when I need to drink water, so I love that. I'm not really.
No, that's okay. You're not. And what about are you into kind of audiobooks or podcasts or anything?
Yeah, so I'll dip in and out of loads of different podcasts. There are a lot of music podcasts, so Barre 9 and the Last Mixtapes podcast. I'll dip in and out of health ones, so I wish I could even remember the names of them. But I think I don't solely follow
one in particular.
Subjects.
Well, that's good. Depends what mood you're in.
I love your podcast.
Good answer. That's good. It's I like it. It's kind of there's 2 podcasts that I follow in America, and it's kind of, I was like, well, there's so many interesting people in Ireland like yourself that I'm just like, what are all my questions for these people? So that's why I was like, oh, I'll just be nosy and sort of podcast.
Oh, it's amazing.
And do you have any documentaries you'd recommend for people to watch?
Yeah, so, well, Cowspiracy, that's a good one.
Yeah.
It's on the dairy side. And I'm Not Your Guru, the Tony Robbins.
Is that good?
It's amazing.
Is it on Netflix?
Yeah, it's on Netflix. So that's, yeah, it's just amazing. Yeah, oh, there's, what is it called? Sorry.
No, you're fine.
It's like my, do you know that juicing documentary?
I actually do. It's
the name, I've seen it about 5 times and the name's just escaped me.
I'll put it in the show notes, but I know the one you're talking about. For the life of me, I can't think of the name either.
I just have super size for super skinny stuck in my head, but it's not that.
Let me see.
Oh, it's like Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead.
That's
So Fat, Sick and Nearly Dead, that documentary, every time I feel like my health is waning, I watch that and it just boosts me again.
And what are 3 things that you think anyone starting off in your industry should know?
Okay, so yeah, creating contacts is really important because it can be lonely because everyone works the same times. I think a lot of people who are into movement and stuff can be reluctant for the admin side, which is where I fall as well, but it's worth investing in like the Mind Body app, something that you can keep track of your clients. For me, it was worth getting an accountant because we work so much anyway doing what we do. I found that stuff held me back, and it kind of, when it's an area that you're not strong in, some people might be fine with accounting, but if it shakes your confidence, that filters into your teaching in a very roundabout way. But yeah, kind of just outsourcing the things that you're not good at, it's always worth that little bit of money you spend because you can focus on the parts that then make you money. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if that's...
No, I think that's really good. And what do you think has been one of the number 1 keys to your success so far?
Yeah, the people, I think. So, yeah, I luckily and randomly these few clients that started with me at the start with their different injuries, like in particular 2 stick out, one with whiplash and one with sciatica, where I worked 1-to-1 with them. Luckily they could afford that, so they came 1-to-1 twice a week and then integrated into the classes slowly. But just seeing their improvement, how much stress it alleviated from their lives and how much happier they were, and they were just... Yeah, they're just...
And that must be so... Yeah, it must be so nice to see afterwards the difference.
It's ridiculously rewarding. It's like a drug. Like, you chase it. That's why, like, I'd almost geek out if someone came to me with an injury. The only downside of that is that sometimes you have to do 1-to-1s. They're not ready for a class because it might be just a little too fast, or they need to learn a bit of how to manage their injury and then bring that to a class. But not often. Usually you can integrate it in the class.
And would you do a lot of 1-to-1 training?
Yeah, that would be my favourite. That's what I think. That's where people really thrive. But obviously some people are quite fit and healthy and they don't need that. You can still do it for fun. Like, I did a 1-to-1 with a woman who just wanted abs before her holiday. Okay. So again, she was financially in a position to do that. She was coming a few times a week and she just wanted it really tough but really safe. So like that she had kids and she was aware of her body, so she wanted to be able to work it without, again, shortening her hip flexors. Yeah. So she wanted the clicking to stop in her hip when she was training, and that's where, it's valuable.
That's where it can come in, yeah. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
It's as you said, if you can afford to do it, I'd say it's amazing to just have one person like there teaching you. But anyway, I have some quick fire questions, so I'm just gonna blast them off to you. So, would you be breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
Reformers or classical Pilates?
Classical.
Nights in or nights out?
Oh, nights out.
Ooh, okay. Well, I suppose you're on the music scene and everything, so all your friends are. And heels or runners?
Runners.
Homemade or restaurant bought?
Homemade.
Morning or evening?
Morning.
Did I ask? No, I didn't.
No, just the breakfast.
Summer or winter?
Summer.
Straight or wavy hair?
I like wavy. My hair goes straight.
Yeah, no, you're the same as me. I'm like, wavy hair, but I just have the straightest. And fruit or veg?
Veg.
Swimming in a pool or swimming in the sea?
Sea.
Shower or bath?
Shower.
Ariel or Snow White?
Snow White.
Too hot or too cold?
Too hot.
Call or text?
Text.
Nut butter or chocolate?
Chocolate.
Online or in-store shopping?
In store.
So yeah, I prefer in-store as well. Health food or workout gear shopping?
Oh, health food.
Comedy or horror?
Comedy.
Music or podcasts? Or documentaries or...
Oh, I'm so sorry, music, but
that's okay.
Podcasts.
So I didn't know you had the secret behind you. Flowers or plants?
Plants.
And what do you hope the next 3 years bring your way?
Our own full-time studio.
Yeah.
We rent spaces, but on random days. So our own full-time studio, being able to take a holiday would be really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, just more consistency in the classes. Yeah, building our PowerPlink family and our own full-time premises.
Oh, what an amazing answer. Well, I see it going that way for you guys. That's amazing. Hannah, thank you so much for coming in and talking and giving advice and sharing some of your secrets. It's been really, really interesting and really amazing.
Thank you so much for having me.
So back to being just me again, and I just want to say a huge thank you so much to Hannah for coming all the way over to the apartment in between classes. She is amazing, and as I'm sure you can hear, she has the most sweetest voice with just some really, really amazingly great things to say. So thank you so much, Hannah. But one thing I noticed just when I was listening to the show while editing is sometimes we all start out on different journeys and we think we want different things. Well, we do want them at the time, but as Hannah said, she originally started out doing event management, and then she got her wrist injuries, which led to her getting rehab. But if that never happened, she wouldn't be doing what she loves so much now, which is Rehab Performer Pilates. And it's just interesting that, as the saying goes, one path can lead to a totally different thing. And I think that's what happened with Hannah, and she couldn't be happier. And, business is a booming for her at the moment. So that's amazing. So I'm going to say thank you again to Hannah so much. And just with regards to the next episode, probably won't be until the new year, because I don't want to get people into Dublin over Christmas when I'm sure they want to be with their families. So I hope you gained a lot of knowledge and a lot of information on Pilates, on Rehab Performer Pilates especially, and on actually a vegan diet, because as we delved into Hannah and her story and how she entered a vegan diet was really, really interesting. So thanks again, Hannah, and we'll see you all in the new year. Goodbye.